What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some unfortunate news concerning Chris Eubank Sr. and his son, Sebastian Eubank. Okay, Chris Eubank's son, Sebastian, died just days before his 30th birthday. The coroner report came out yesterday. I know you guys are ahead of me, but Sebastian Eubank, the third eldest son of former professional boxer Chris Eubank, passed away in Dubai over the weekend. Sebastian was found dead on the beach after drowning, the Sun reports. The news saddened even more as the 29-year-old was just days away from turning 30. Chris Eubank, of course, Sr. is regarded as one of the best super middleweights of all time, holding the WBO middleweight and super middleweight titles between 1990 and 95. Following in his father's footsteps, the Hove-born Sebastian was a professional boxer for many years and ventured into MMA recently. The fighter had immigrated to Dubai with his wife, Salma, who gave birth to their son, barely a month old. Nearly did I imagine, says Chris Eubank, that I would write these words or experience the feeling I now have at the loss of my son, Chris Eubank said in a statement. He also stated that my family and I are devastated to hear the death of Sebastian just days before what would have been his 30th birthday. He leaves his wife Salma, his son Raheem, born just a month ago, his mother, Karen Meadows, brother Nathaniel, Chris Jr., and Joseph, one sister, Emily, and countless relatives and friends. Sebastian grew up in Hove, England, but in the last few years made his life in Dubai, where he had a wide circle of friends and was a leader in the adoption of healthy lifestyle and alternative therapies. Sebastian's brother, Chris Jr., took to Twitter to express how he will miss his brother, a special man, a righteous man who always put himself before others. Those are the words of Chris Eubank Jr. as well. After boxing for many years, Sebastian took up MMA. In the early 2020s, Sebastian made his debut in fighting against Ahmad Hanbali, where he won via technical knockout. Speaking on the tragedy, other boxers were saddened, such as Joe Calzaghe and others. Let me counterpunch, people. Third eldest. He looked like he was in great shape. He wanted to jump outside the box. He started in his father's footsteps with boxing. That was his foundation, but he wanted to go to MMA, which he, was successful by knockout, and he was on his way. He had a new child in the world, and you ask yourself, was this meant to happen? Because he wasn't 30 years old yet. He just had his child, which is barely a month old, and you would think someone has their whole life in front of them. That's how it was looking. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. That's why it's called a tragedy. Chris Eubank, Junior and Senior, I think people should become closer together. And sometimes, because you don't know your last days on this earth, that's why you do necessary things to stay together, to keep close, and at least have peace, because you don't know. And at least when you do go, you will at least understand, like, hey, well, the last times I had with that person, or vice versa, because that could be anybody, it was pleasant, peaceful, memorable in a positive way. And I think that's more of a positive outlook on when people descend. Now back to Sebastian. I didn't know he drowned. I just heard he had a massive heart attack, which I thought about that and I pondered on that a couple days. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense to me because he didn't look like he was on anything. In fact, the opposite. He looked shredded. He looked like he was in great shape. So I didn't understand why, how he had a massive heart attack. Well, that's easy if you're trying to fight currents, trying to keep alive, and those things happen. And a lot of people drown, due to heart attack and on top of exhaustion. Okay, because I've almost drowned a few times, in the ocean or in a body of water, and they're both very challenging, especially the ocean because it's just so unforgiving, But as far as Chris Eubank Sr., I can only imagine because I have a daughter and she's in her 20s, and I couldn't imagine going through what he's going through. My heart goes out to the family. I hope and wish them well. I hope they become closer because of this, at least. It doesn't overlook what's going on because, a family of 5, you want to see your kids bury you or send you off, not the other way around. So it's almost, it's something that people have to go through. Chris Eubank Sr. is very emotional at this time and grieving. My heart goes out to him and his family, and I wish them the best. And you guys tell me what you think about Sebastian Eubank passing due to drowning in Dubai. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.